The rainforest canopy of Central and South America stretches out like a green ocean. The jungle is teeming with life. From the vibrant birds in the trees to the insects on the forest floor, movement never stops. Yet, amidst this flurry of activity, there exists a creature that moves to a different rhythm. It's an animal that has embraced a slower pace, surviving in its own quiet way. If you enjoy stories like this, consider liking the video and subscribing. It helps the channel grow and brings more wild stuff to curious minds like yours. At first glance, the sloth may seem lazy and uneventful. Yet this extreme slowness is a remarkable evolutionary strategy. A survival superpower honed over millions of years. Sloths live on a diet of leaves, which are low in nutrients and calories. To survive on such meager energy, they slow everything down. Sloths have one of the slowest metabolic rates of any mammal, burning energy at about half the rate of similar-sized animals. It can take up to a month to digest a single meal. By moving slowly and conserving energy, sloths make the most of every leaf they eat. This unhurried life works perfectly in the rainforest. Food is plentiful around them, so there's no need to rush, and their slowness keeps them safe. Many predators, like big cats and eagles, hunt by sight, and often overlook a sloth that hardly moves. Their green-tinged fur helps them blend into the leaves as they remain motionless high above the forest floor. In this environment, being slow isn't a handicap at all. Sloths weren't always the small, slow tree dwellers we know today. During the last ice age, giant ground sloths roamed North and South America. Among them was Megatherium, one of the largest species ever, up to 6 meters long, about the size of an elephant. These massive herbivores moved across forests and plains, feeding on plants. Most of them disappeared around 10,000 years ago, leaving behind smaller, more specialized descendants. Today's sloths live a very different life in the trees. There are 6 species, divided into 2 groups: two-toed and three-toed sloths. Despite looking similar, they are not closely related. Each evolved from a different extinct ancestor, a case of convergent evolution shaped by the same environment. As they moved into the trees, they became smaller and lighter. Long limbs and curved claws evolved to support climbing, while unnecessary bulk was left behind. The result is today's sloth. Slow, specialized, and perfectly suited for life upside down. The limbs of a sloth are long, and their claws hook securely onto branches. Sloths have about 30% less muscle than other mammals their size, yet their muscles are arranged to maximize pulling strength. Specialized tendons in the hands and feet lock their grip, allowing a sloth to hang for hours without expending muscle power. In fact, sloths have been known to remain hanging from a tree even after death, a testament to this passive, energy-efficient clasp. Internally, they have unique adaptations for their inverted lifestyle. Organs are attached to the rib cage, so the lungs aren't crushed while hanging. Two-fingered sloths even have 46 ribs, the most of any mammal, forming a flexible support for the abdomen. Sloths also have the slowest metabolism recorded in any mammal. Their daily energy use is about 40 to 74% lower than that of animals their size, which means they can survive on very little food. A sloth's stomach is large and multi-chambered, full of symbiotic bacteria that ferment tough leaves. Digesting a meal is a slow process. A single leaf can take up to a month to pass through their system. This extraordinarily slow digestion, combined with their low-energy leaf diet, is central to their survival strategy. Unlike most warm-blooded creatures, sloths do not maintain a steady body temperature. They are heterothermic, letting their internal temperature fluctuate with the environment. When active, their core temperature is only around 30 to 34 degrees Celsius. and it can drop as low as 20 degrees Celsius while resting. This minimal heat production conserves energy but comes with risks. If a sloth gets too cold, the bacteria in its gut may die off, leaving the animal unable to digest food. Even if the sloth warms up again, it may starve with a full stomach because digestion has stopped. In their natural habitat, sloths avoid this by basking in sun patches to raise their body temperature when needed. But overall, living upside down in energy-saving mode means sloths thrive only in warm environments. A cold climate could be life-threatening to these remarkably adapted creatures. In the rainforest canopy, the sloth leads a solitary life among the branches. Each movement is careful and unhurried as it climbs and hangs from tree limbs with its long, curved claws. Hidden in the leaves high above the forest floor, the sloth stays safe from most predators. A sloth can sleep for up to 10 hours a day, often curled up high in a tree or hanging from a branch. When awake, it slowly munches on a diet of leaves. It selects only a few tender ones, tearing them with its lips since it has no front teeth. By nature, the sloth keeps to itself, meeting others only briefly to mate high in the branches. After about 6 months of pregnancy, the female gives birth to a single baby in the treetops. The newborn immediately clings to its mother's belly with surprising strength. For roughly half a year, it rides along with her, gripping her fur tightly for safety. During this time, the young sloth learns which leaves to eat and how to move through the canopy by watching its mother. The sloth rarely leaves the canopy. In fact, it spends nearly its entire life in the trees. It only descends under special circumstances, most often to relieve itself about once a week, or more rarely, to change trees. This short trip to the ground is one of the most dangerous moments in its life. Down there, it moves slowly and has no way to escape. Jaguars, ocelots, or even stray dogs can easily catch a sloth on the forest floor. Once finished, it climbs back up and returns to its quiet rhythm among the leaves. Why would any animal risk that just to go to the toilet? This routine act sets off a strange and remarkable cycle. When the sloth defecates on the ground, tiny moths in the forest take notice. They fly down and lay their eggs in the sloth's fresh dung. A few weeks later, the eggs hatch into larvae. These larvae feed on nutrients in the dung. Eventually, new adult moths emerge and fly upward into the canopy. There, they take up residence in the sloth's coarse fur, where they live, mate, and complete their life cycle. As the moths live in the sloth's fur, their waste acts like fertilizer for algae growing on the sloth's body. The algae thrive in the warm, moist hair. Over time, this growth gives the sloth's coat a greenish tint. This natural camouflage helps the sloth disappear into the surrounding foliage. There may be another benefit too. Sloths have been observed licking their own fur, possibly to consume some of this algae. It's believed that eating the algae provides extra moisture and nutrients, small but useful additions to their low-calorie diet. All these interactions form a tiny, self-sustaining ecosystem. Sloths, moths, and algae depend on one another in this cycle. The sloth's risky trip to the ground triggers the whole process, revealing how an ordinary behavior can support an extraordinary partnership in nature. In the dense tropical forests, sloths have few natural enemies, but the ones they do have are formidable. Big cats like jaguars and ocelots can climb and occasionally ambush sloths among the lower and middle branches of the forest. The powerful harpy eagle is another major predator, swooping down with sharp talons to seize a sloth when it's exposed. To avoid detection, sloths rely on camouflage and stillness. Their greenish, algae-covered fur helps them blend into mossy branches, and by staying motionless for long stretches, they often pass unnoticed in the forest's dappled light. If threatened, a sloth still has defenses. With long, curved claws and strong muscles, it can cling tightly to branches and deliver painful scratches if attacked. Two-toed sloths in particular have also been known to bite. And beyond the treetops, sloths have a surprising skill. They are strong swimmers. In some cases, they've been seen dropping into rivers and paddling away to escape danger. Despite these natural abilities, sloths now face growing threats from humans. Deforestation continues to destroy their habitat, leaving behind isolated forest patches. Power lines strung through the canopy can electrocute an unsuspecting sloth. And on the ground, when crossing roads or passing through farmland, they risk attacks by dogs or collisions with vehicles. But there is hope. Conservationists and local communities are building canopy bridges that help sloths cross roads safely. Rescue centers treat injured animals and give them a second chance in the wild. Reforestation projects are reconnecting fragmented forests, giving sloths room to move and thrive. In Costa Rica, the sloth is even celebrated as a national symbol. Though sloths are often overlooked in the forest, they are not alone. With growing awareness and action, these remarkable animals stand a better chance of surviving and thriving in a changing world. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay curious and keep exploring.